Title Update 20 has hit the Division 2, and boy oh boy, there are some changes. Project Resolve is turning out huge changes across almost every system in the game, from apparel to weapons to game modes. The scope of these changes is truly impressive and gives me a ton of hope for the future of this game. But are they good changes, or are the devs missing the mark once again? Hey agents, it's Dispatch. Welcome to the channel, where we talk about the math, builds, lore, and game design of Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Let's get stuck into it. Alright, first off, the Kelso storyline is much more interesting than we've seen in the past because it's about a character that we know. New manhunts for the past seasons have really seen a big improvement, and this one's already off to a great start. For the brand and gear set changes, the increased health is opening up the game to a different type of play that isn't really useful and only really usable in PvP. You could run a build with minimal armor and just using your health to soak up damage and then waiting for it to come back. That sounds pretty boring. The rest of the changes to brand sets don't matter at all unless you're running Ninja Bike, and even then there are still better ways to get the bonuses that you want for the most part. If gear sets weren't the clear meta right now, we might be having a different conversation. The Brazos 50% mag size seems really fun, especially with a Frenzy or Chatterbox build. The new brand set has 10% armor on kill as its first attribute, so I'm sure that'll make the 1.2 million armor on kill portion of the fan base really happy. Foundry is now totally busted and does tons of repair. Let me know if you'd like to see a build video using that set. We've got new cosmetics. Yay! I like the Japanese samurai one. This one seems nice. Textile vendor. We've been asking for a solution to the textile overflow for a long while. I'm so happy that they're tackling this. I'm really surprised, honestly. Better rewards for Descent and faster loops. Yes, I noticed when I was playing Descent that it no longer seems to spawn a second wave in most rooms, so that was really nice. That is also usually the time that I got in the most trouble with Descent, because I was out of position trying to kill the last enemy. I kill them, and then boom, the new enemies come out in the second loop, and that would be trouble. They corrected wording on Sadist, Eyeless, Intimidate, and the other talents. This is fantastic. I'm glad they're finally getting on board with this. This should help people know how these operate. The gear lock has been postponed and it will only be in conflict when it does come. Yay! They heard the community on this one. I think everybody was pretty adamant, myself included, that this was a bad change. Yeah, it was just not good. So thank goodness it's only going to be in conflict. Alright, let's talk about some of the weapon changes. The ARs were actually some of the most balanced weapons in the game. They didn't really need any buffs or nerfs in my opinion. The only thing is that faster firing ARs were better for Striker and Negotiators and Heartbreaker, so maybe a change to those sets or even a new set would have been better for balancing, but we are where we are. The capacitor absolutely did not need a buff. It's crazy good now. It was always the go-to for hybrids, and now it's just completely in concrete there. It's great. Yeah, it's good. The Honey Badger is just now better than the Carbine 7 because it just got more mag size and so more mag damage and better sustain. The Cetar is now definitively better at stacking Striker and Heartbreaker since it's got more rounds and is easier to keep on target. Still has lower damage and can't use an 8x scope for focus, so take that for what you will. The F2000 is now completely supplanted the FAMAS, better in mag DPS and sustained mag DPS. Finally, the LMGs have comparable mag DPS to ARs, with the RPK and LED6 being really good. I definitely take the RPK because it has a lot more mag damage while being basically the same mag DPS. Rifles are now much better, but still some are lacking, like the Merciless. The M16 is actually looking pretty good. Throw on some handling and its vertical recoil is very easy to control, but it's missing mod slot. Might even be usable with something like Striker since you should be able to maintain the stacks at least. The damage increase to rifles is good. Behind You being an exclusive talent doesn't make a ton of sense if it becomes the best talent, that's the only one agents will use. If it isn't the best, it does nothing to increase the standing of rifles. SMG changes are all over the place. It makes sense that the vectors didn't really change, but everything else is just kind of weird. The Tommy gun got a big buff and is looking very good, but still lacking with its attachments. The MP7 finally got something to compensate for its smaller mag. The Banshee and AUG also look very good. But the MP5 is absolutely dumpster tier now. On here I've got the Chatterbox at 1100 RPM, and at that rate it's getting in the middle of the pack. Keep in mind though that the increased rate of fire gives you better handling, so your hit percentage is very good. The sustain doesn't take into account the free half reload either, so make sure you're getting some decent chatter stacks, and this thing is a monster. Some notable exclusions from this list are the Eagle Bearer, Blue Screen, St. Elmo's, Iron Lung, and Oreo. All of these were strong before the update, and they're still strong. If they feel good, absolutely use them. I already mentioned this in my last video about snipers, but MMRs have gotten a big shakeup. The M700 variants are the top dogs, with the Tactical 308 and Semi-Auto MMRs falling to irrelevancy. The SR1 and SRS variants are also great. I was playing around with them yesterday. The SR1 actually sounds so cool, so I'd highly recommend it. Use the suppressor on there, and it just, it's so good. So to wrap up this section, a lot more weapons have become viable. Rifles still need some help. If you're using a supposedly meta weapon that isn't working for you, definitely change to something that feels better. In this case, your personal recoil management, playstyle, etc. trumps the numbers in the spreadsheet. Alright agents, just a quick one today. It's a great update. I've really been enjoying it. Let me know how you feel about it. Sound off in the comments. And until next time, thanks for learning with us. This has been Dispatch. Take care out there.